Hey guys, Taki here. In this video I want to go over my Cyclone Shockwave Berserker build that I've been playing for a few days now. I wanted to make a fast mapping character since my last build was more of a bossing focused character and also invest a little bit more currency. That was a very budget build. So I ended up spending about 85 divines on this one. Most of that being on a 2-flask corrupted mage blood. I really wanted a mage blood to get that juiced up quicksilver flask for movement speed since I'm using Cyclone. And the build also uses a ton of uniques, so it helps a lot with getting resists capped and stuff like that. So the most obvious and meta choice for a Cyclone Shockwave build is Slayer, because you get a ton of AoE from their impact Ascendancy, which gives melee strike ranged and increased AoE. But I wanted to try to make the clear from this one more so come from explosions. So I'm using Orieth's End and Herald of Ash, and I've also got Asenath's Touch on the Mercenary, as well as the Legacy of Fury boots, so there's a lot of explosions going on, and yeah, I think it worked out pretty well. I've been mostly doing Breach and some Beyond farming in tier 16.5 originator maps, but it also works quite well for tier 17s. I managed to take down a few Uber bosses, but the build is a bit too squishy for Ubers and doesn't quite have enough damage to just like one-shot them. So it's in that spot where you can do Ubers, especially if you're familiar with the mechanics, but it's not really a bossing build, so I wouldn't recommend it if that's what you're after. There's definitely better things you can spend 85 divines on. And I guess that's true for mapping as well, but I just thought it was a really fun build, and like I said, for like breach farming and stuff like that, it works really well. I also just wanted to try out some Cyclone since it was buffed, and same with breach farming was buffed with some quality of life changes to make all the splinters drop after the breach and stuff like that. So yeah, the bossing isn't great, but it's good enough for tier 17 boss farming or just regular bosses and invitations. So yeah, let's get into the character. I'm currently level 96, pretty close to 97. You can level really fast if you stick to just doing tier 16.5s or tier 16s and just doing breach. You can level really fast. I've been trying a lot of like tier 17 stuff as well, and you do end up dying a little bit in tier 17s. So, but yeah, let's start with the gear. So I'm running Marohi Erqi actually, which is a really cool weapon that I just wanted to use it. You can probably outscale it with rares in the end, but it is pretty good for Shockwave, since Shockwave is just triggered and it doesn't care about your attack speed. This, as long as you can hit fast enough to trigger all the Shockwaves, you're fine. So, and Cyclone just hits very often. So yeah, Marohi Erqi is the weapon of choice here. I have my links in it, together with a corruption that gives inspiration. So it's a 7-link basically. And then I'm using a Kaom's Heart to make up for some of the lacking defenses in the build. And being a Berserker, you just kind of fall over sometimes since I'm using Aspect of Carnage. So yeah, I wanted to get Kaom's Heart in here to fix the life pool as well, because it's pretty low without it. Yeah, so Marohi Erqi, you can buy it. I bought it for 1 divine with this corruption. And then you just you can link it with tainted currency or with Black Morgan, I guess. And yeah, it's like ends up being like 3 divines then or something. So Marohi Erqi and Kaom's Heart. I'm using Mage Blood, of course, for the Quicksilver, and for a Topaz Flask to fix the resistances and the move speed. I have a chance to avoid being shocked here. And so together with the Enkindling Orb and the prefix for increased effect, you can get 100%. I think you need a roll of 52 or better. And then together with Storm Shroud, you get full elemental ailment immunity. So that's pretty neat. And for the other suffix, I just decided to go for elemental resistances to help cap out even easier. Maybe you could, like, through tattoos and some stuff like that, manage to fit in another suffix like % increased armor or something like that. But yeah, it kind of depends on like what boots you get, and yeah. So that's pretty much what the Mage Blood is doing. For the other flasks, I just have this one is what I've been using mostly, switching between the characters a little bit. So a Seething Divine Flask of Sealing, just instant with corrupted blood immunity, and Orieth's End for explosions, and a Rose Thorn Tincture for some crit, and you want a pen roll on that one. For the gloves, I'm using Rim Sorrow with a crit corruption, so 100% fist converted to cold, and then I'm using Heat Shiver with that, so you get up to 60% of your cold damage as fire. You get 30% chill effect and 30% if they are frozen. Then I'm running Yoke of Suffering, making all my elemental damage able to shock, and also 9%, 5 to 10% increased damage for each type of ailment on them, and we have like 4 or 5 ailments, I guess. So yeah, Yoke of Suffering. For the rings, I got Death Rush for Adrenaline on kill. And then for the other one, I actually have Squirming Terror. So most people put this on the Merc, on the Mercenary, but I found I can never like kill it. My Mercenary always kills it before me if I give it to them, because the Cyclone AoE is not that big. So I decided to put it on myself. And this is for single target. So mostly for the tier 17 stuff, or if you want to do higher bosses, like Uber bosses or whatever, you get the adrenaline uptime even during single target. So yeah, we also get like onslaught and some you get onslaught and kill here from the brutal restraint. Yes, mostly onslaught and adrenaline. You can also get frenzy charges from like blood rage. So yeah, you just get to kill that every now and then on single target for those buffs. So Squirming Terror, it's a new one, but it's pretty good, pretty cool. You also trigger the Ice Golem here. Nice to not have to press it, just to automate it. So yeah, when you kill stuff, your Ice Golem is gonna trigger from it. So that's the ring setup, and then lastly I just have some rare boots here. So you want to fix up your resistances here, of course, but also the implicits here. Drops brittle ground while moving. That's the important one. So as a Cyclone, you're always moving around the target, and you're always right on the target. So you're basically getting brittle for free here just on the implicit. And then the other one, yeah, fist damage is extra cold, is just a nice damage bonus. Yeah, that's it for the gear section, along with the flasks. I guess I'll go over all the jewels here as well. Storm Shroud, I already mentioned. Brutal Restraint gives you some dex, and you want to aim for onslaught and kill on at least one of them. On the other ones, you can have like, I have a crit, increased max life. I have a pretty bad Watcher's Eye here, just +1 crit while affected by hatred. That's the one you want. Preferably if you can get something else. We're running like, yeah, we have Determination and Precision as well. So you can get that. Or just another hatred mod, I guess. Or just a better roll. But yeah, you want that crit chance. And a Light of Meaning with Chaos Res here. This one is this I think is the second most expensive. It's like, I think I bought it for 7 or 8 divines. But it basically fixes your entire Chaos Res. It's pretty damn low without it. Yeah. But with this, it's at least decent. I also have another one for cold damage. I just bought it in case I'm doing like a boss that, well, if I'm trying a boss that doesn't do any chaos damage, I'll just put on this instead, and it's like, I think it's a little bit more than 10% damage, so it's pretty good. But even for just general mapping, you do want the Chaos Res instead. I also have this Bottled Faith instead of Orieth's End if I am trying some bossing. And then I have a Cluster Jewel and a Megalomaniac. But yeah, that's more part of like the passive tree, I guess, which I can go over next. Basically, yeah, you want a cluster jewel here for maces, and that's how you can get this one Overlord. So melee hits with maces, staffs, or scepters fortify for 6 seconds, so it's fortify on hit. Like I mentioned, you can get fortify as an implicit on the Marohi Erqi, but Overlord is a really good implicit here, or cluster roll, whatever. And you just pair it with some other good damage stuff. Chaos Res is another good thing you can get here. I bought this one actually on trade for I think 2 divines. I did not roll it myself. But you also really want Fuel the Fight. You can get that on the large cluster jewel as well. I decided to get it on a Megalomaniac here with Enduring Focus as well, which you could, if you get it on the large. If you get Fuel the Fight for Mana Leech on the large, you can use the Channeling one if you want Enduring Focus to get Endurance charges. The Channeling medium one. So, but yeah, I got it from a Megalomaniac instead. Not ideal, but it works. You just need Mana Leech from somewhere, and this is a pretty good way to get it. And you get the Life Leech from a tattoo over here. The only other tattoo I have is a fire resist one here to get elemental weakness overcapped for fire resistance as well. That's the clusters, the tattoos. Yeah, you put the Light of Meaning here. We have an Unwavering Stance for stun immunity. This is some accuracy stuff, max res. We do have pretty good max res, as you can see, 81, 81, 89, so that's pretty good. Some two-handed clusters here, mace stuff, fire mastery. This is nice to help with the mana cost. You don't necessarily, the build function, I just took this skills cost life instead of 15% of mana cost. I just took it to help alleviate the mana a little bit, but it works fine without it. You're basically just having some mana issues maybe when you're pressing the tincture for too long. I also have this Rune Graft of Time here, 20% chance for skills not to consume a cooldown on use. So a chance for the Shockwave trigger not to consume a cooldown. So it's basically, it's not quite 20% more damage, because I haven't really min-maxed the the cooldown rate with my attack rate and stuff like that. It's just not really necessary, I think. But there's gonna be a small gap of time, so you don't really get 20% more damage, but say somewhere between like 15 and 18 maybe, I don't know. Yeah, going up here for some AoE, this Mastery here for 300% Fizz as a random element. I'm not going with the inverted Mastery here, because even though I'm not cursing, my Mercenary is cursing quite a bit. I'll go over the Mercenary in a bit, but I'm basically getting Frostbite and Elemental Weakness. So going for lowering res instead of inverting. And then yeah, more mace stuff, and yeah, that's pretty much the tree. You can look at it at your own pace. Oh yeah, for the Ascendancy, I'm running Defy Pain here, which is a really nice Defiance of Destiny type of thing that gives basically multi-hit defense, since we don't have any evasion because of Unwavering Stance. Then I'm running Aspect of Carnage. You know, it's fun for softcore. More damage, but a lot more damage taken as well. Not super efficient or good, but it's fun. And then Crave the Slaughter for some attack speed, and Rite of Ruin for the rage effect, so just more melee damage, also scales the attack speed. Again, not really a super attack speed scaling build, but I just wanted to try it as a Berserker, and yeah, it's been fun. Moving on to the gems. For the main setup, I got Cyclone here, together with Shockwave. Shockwave, of course. You want a level 21 Shockwave, definitely. So you get 5 stored uses instead of 4. Then I have a Pulverize, elemental damage with attacks. You can get this Awakened, so that'll be a little bit more expensive, but then you can do Reflect Maps. I do have Awakened. Yeah, I just bought this, actually. So you do get Intimidate on hit here. Before that, I was getting Intimidate just from this Belt of the Deceiver, but it just upgraded this. So I haven't changed this belt yet. But yeah, this is the cheaper alternative. Although it was just 3 divines now, so not too bad. But yeah. And then the last support I have is increased critical damage. I was running Bone Shield for a time as well. But you do get a lot of percent damage taken from the Yoke of Suffering. So it looked like, on PoE at least, like increased crit damage is like 10% more damage. So I decided to go for that instead. So yeah, that's the main links for the Cyclone Shockwave setup. For the auras, I have here on the Heat Shiver. So for the mana, you do want to get this implicit corruption for 90% cost and reservation multiplier. It's also about 4 divines, I think. But yeah, keep that in mind. So I'm running Determination, Hatred, and Herald of Ash. I do switch out Herald of Ash for Flesh and Stone in tier 17s, sometimes if they're rippy, or again, if I'm trying some bossing content. For tier 16 and 16.5, Herald of Ash is just nicer. It looks nice as well, so yeah. But Flesh and Stone is a way to get 19% less damage taken, which is quite a lot. But yeah, I also have Blood Rage here in this setup. Using Blood Rage is pretty good to get Frenzy Charges. I don't know how else you would get Frenzy Charges, actually. So I was running Enlightened for a while, and I anointed this, but yeah, I think this setup is good. But yeah, you could technically, like, if you couldn't get the Heat Shiver, maybe you could use an Enlighten and use Disciple of the Slaughter instead of Blood Rage. But yeah, using Blood Rage here. I got Assassin's Mark with Mark on Hit and Life Tap. And I'm using Frost Blink as my only travel skill, since I'm just cycloning around for the most part. And we are a little bit short on sockets because we don't get any from Kaoms. And then I have Precision on Arrogance. And my Molten Shell, I'm actually running it with Automation, because I was a little bit afraid of the mana cost with cast on damage, cast on damage taken. So I decided to go for Automation instead, which doesn't have as big of a multiplier. But yeah, use cast on damage taken or Automation. I think cast on damage taken might be a little bit better, but yeah, right now I'm trying Automation and it works as well. Doesn't matter too much. Don't have that much armor, so it's not a super big Molten Shell anyways, but yeah. That's the setup I'm currently running. It'd probably actually be better. I'm thinking about maybe using Steel Skin here instead, since I am using Automation. I think I will switch to that. Maybe I'll put that in the PoB and try that for a little bit, just using because then I can use a level 20 Steel Skin, so we'll probably end up changing that. So yeah, lastly, I'll go over the Mercenary and some Pantheon stuff. So for the Mercenary, using Aseneth's Gentle Touch with Elemental Weakness on Hit, Corruption. This was like 150C. You need Anathema for to increase the curse limit. Then you need 1 maximum power charge somewhere. I just got it on this helm, which also gives some resistances to help out with that. So you have 4 power charges. You get 2 curses from this. 1 curse here, Frostbite on hit, and then I have the Assassin's Mark, so that's 4 curses. But yeah, and then Legacy of Fury for some Scorch when it's nearby, and also it adds some explosion stuff. And then yeah, you can use Belt of Deceiver if you need Intimidate. I actually don't need it anymore, so I'll probably just put on something. Maybe Kaom's, the Kaom's binding for some Fist to Fire conversion is what I'll put in here. And then I have Dawnbreaker to make it a little bit tankier. Eternal Struggle to get 15% Cull, which is really nice. And then just a random wand. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the for the Mercenary here, just the kineticists, to basically get a bunch of curse stuff and a little bit of explosion things and the cull. It's pretty good. You also get the haste aura from it, so even you get to move even faster. It also has some okay clear on its own. And for the Pantheons, I'm using Soul of Lunaris. This is nice so you don't get chained off your Golem and off your Mercenary. And Soul of Shakari. Since I'm not quite Chaos Resist capped, this is pretty good. But there's some different stuff you can use here. That's true for the major one as well. You can use Solaris, maybe Araqali for some bosses. I put it on. I did try an Uber Cyrus. I did manage to kill it, but I died a couple of times, so I was using that on this one. Yeah, it's nice for a couple Uber bosses, but again, not really a Uber bossing focused character. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you're in the mood for a little bit of a different approach to the Cyclone Shockwaves build, this was a pretty fun setup. Like I said, Berserker isn't really ideal for it, but it was a fun thing to try out, especially with the 5 pain and some stuff like that. I had a lot of fun with it. I'll probably keep playing it for some more, because it's just a really nice playstyle, I think, to just spin to win and all the explosions. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you sometime in the future.